trauma bonds. Got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal games. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hoop MCs, brought to you by myself and my co-host, Nassim. What's going on, bud?
What's up, Hassan? How are you this week?
Pretty good. A little birdie told me that you're a little vaccinated boy. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I'm struggling, not gonna lie. I'm just very sore. And since today's the first day of Ramadan, I can't take any vitamins or anything to help with that.
Tragic. Did you not plan this out, though? Like, in terms of getting the vaccine shot and where it falls in line with Ramadan?
Well, I mean, we got it as soon as possible, so it's either we get it, like, right before Ramadan or in the middle of it. I'd rather just do it right before.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into it. Obviously, the most newsworthy topic of discussion is Jamal Murray. Sucks, but yesterday against the Golden State Warriors, I think you said it was like 50 seconds left, right?
Yeah, there was literally 50 seconds left in the game. Nuggets are down by 7, I think.
7, yeah. On a drive to the basket, he goes, lands awkwardly, and just like grabs his knee, starts screaming and stuff. Everybody in the NBA community kind of knew what it was. Mm-hmm. And came out today, the report after the MRI, and it's a torn ACL. Major blow to the Nuggets, man. Like, they made a pretty big move at the deadline to get Aaron Gordon, looking like a legit contender. Made you even start thinking at one point that these are contenders, and just goes down like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, all season you saw me just go Lakers from the West, and then the Nuggets made some noise after the deadline. So seeing that injury is very unfortunate. Honestly, I think injuries suck in general, but it's even worse whenever it's a superstar, and especially a young guy like that. It really just sucks because, I mean, that they, like you said, they made a huge move at the deadline, and there's 50 seconds left in the game. It's like a 3-possession game. We all know they're likely not winning it, so to have it happen on a useless play really blows.
And especially because like Jamal Murray balled out in the bubble last season in the playoffs. Obviously, like you would think, like he's gonna be a huge part of their postseason success. Let me ask you this: do you think him going down hurts Jokic's or helps Jokic's case for MVP?
It's really just depending on how well the Nuggets play at this point. If the Nuggets continue to win, then it helps Jokic. But if the Nuggets are struggling, then everyone's going to start deferring to the Jamal Murray argument.
I wonder what the guard depth is like with the Nuggets. I know they have like, is his name Campazzo or something like that? Did I make that up?
I think you did, because I don't think that's a real player. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and we're both going to take a second to see
I don't
this
know
guy exists.
Who their backup point guard is.
I thought it was...
Facundo Campazzo. Yeah, you're right.
Let's go, baby. All right. Yeah, so they got that guy. I don't know. I have no idea whether this guy's good or not. Yeah. If he can hold down the fort. It kind of reminds me whenever the Rockets lost Patrick Beverley and we rolled with... what's his name? Pablo Prigioni or
Pablo Pepperoni, baby.
Yeah. Hey, but the dude held his own. But when we ended up facing the Warriors, Pablo did not hold up very well.
Yeah, we had to start Jason Terry, and he crossed up Steph Curry. Back to the Jamal Murray injury. It really reminds me of the Chris Paul one. Obviously, it's way more severe, but just in terms of timing and how important it is for the team, like going into the postseason.
The Chris Paul one came in the postseason.
Yeah,
this one is like, I think with Patrick Beverley, we may have lost them prior to the postseason, if I remember correctly. If my memory serves me correct, I think we lost Pat Bev before. It was an MCL, and I think he was trying to come back or whatever.
Yeah.
But we just rolled with Pablo and Jason, dude. That was a crazy postseason. Like we had like 35-year-old point guards.
Josh Smith and Dwight Howard, best friends at the AAU tournament. I don't know.
I don't know I'm not sure if anybody knew that, by the way. Sarcasm. That was a crazy postseason run by the Rockets.
Yeah.
Not to get off topic, but also in that game that we mentioned, the Nuggets and the Warriors, Steph Curry went off, dropped 50, and I think he passed up Wilt Chamberlain for the most points in the Warriors franchise history. So
yeah, which makes the injury even more unfortunate because you can't celebrate it like a huge accomplishment from Steph Curry, which is really respectable. It's just unfortunate timing, honestly.
Yeah, poor Steph.
No,
No, I'm just messing around. I'm just kidding. I think he has like 17,817 points. I think I saw a picture. Like they did the little like him holding the sign. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
By the way, did you know that James Harden has like way more points than Steph Curry?
Well, I would imagine so. Yeah.
But would you have because like dude started off as sixth man,
Well,
So
I mean, and he's been with Houston for 8 seasons. For I want to say like 3 of them, he was averaging over 30, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of numbers, especially because Steph has also had again more help, and then he was injured the last season or two. So
yeah, that's true.
I kind of just figured. I figured James Harden would.
So it was less surprising to you, right?
Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble, dude.
You already bursted it. But what's it called? I think remember how you and I were talking last week about future video ideas that we can do like after the season.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was looking. I think they both came out of the 2009 draft class. I think Steph Curry got drafted in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Same with James Harden. They both came out the same class.
Yeah.
I was obviously with this video idea, it's like you're picking out the best player from each draft class over the past 20 years. Who do you think is the best player out of that class? Obviously, you have, I think Blake Griffin was even in that class. Obviously, he's not better than Steph or James. But if you were to pick, bias aside, Steph or James Harden, who do you think is the best out of that draft class?
The best player or the best person to draft? Because I feel like that's two different.
No. Okay, obviously we're sticking with the wait. What did you ask?
Like if you're building a team, or are you saying who's the better
who was
player?
the best player out of that draft class? That's my question.
Man, I want to say James Harden. I think Steph Curry is a better player to have to build a team, but I think James Harden's a better player. Does that make sense?
It does, but you're overthinking it, man. Like, okay, so like
James Harden.
All right. Honestly, I want to lean James Harden too, but I feel like everybody else outside of Houston would disagree and say, no, it's Steph Curry. And I wouldn't oppose it.
Yeah.
Just because of his legacy, what he's going to have and what he meant to the NBA, yada, 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 who cares? But, just something something to keep in mind, by the way, folks. After the season, we will be doing like a pick your squad versus me picking my squad over the last 20 years. I kind of want to do that with you.
Yeah, during the offseason, we're going to have to get really creative.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of tough. But we'll have, I'm sure, a bunch of rumors swirling around and stuff. So we'll make it fun,
Yeah. But to go back to you before we change topics, I know you want to. I'm okay with either Steph or Harden being considered the best player of the draft. I mean, they're both obviously two of the greats at their position. So
that's very mature of you to come back around.
Yes.
Speaking earlier of there being not drama, but rumors in the off season and just the drama that comes with that. Transition. We got some drama today, folks, between Kevin Durant and, by the way, Kevin Durant has the most drama surrounding him always. Like, what's with this guy? The past 2 weeks, Just him and Rappaport, and now him and Shannon Sharpe.
Hey, but he's the only superstar to actually acknowledge these things. Because I'm sure LeBron, if he decided to, he would go back and forth with people all day long.
So I don't know why, but like this guy like utilizes Twitter like any other average Joe does. Like he just takes it to where it's like he's always responding to random people, like essentially a bunch of trolls, you know.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's very entertaining, but you know how in Twitter, like when you're reading stuff, you can't necessarily like understand the tone of that person, so it comes off as like, oh, you're being a crybaby and sensitive.
Yeah.
And maybe, to be fair to Kevin Durant, he probably doesn't feel that way at all. He's probably like, man, you're an idiot. Shut up. But it's just a bad look, no?
I don't know, honestly. I feel like if I was as big as him, obviously I'd kind of tone it down a little, but I mean, I would just do my own thing on Twitter to a certain extent. I'm not going to entertain the trolls and the Shannon Sharpes and the Rappaports, but I'm going to like interact with people and, you know, just be stupid.
Sure. Yeah, I get you on that part. Obviously, to each their own. Let's give context, though, to what happened. So Shannon Sharpe, he's obviously on the what is the show called for FS1? Undisputed with him and Skip Bayless. And, you know, of course, they're always talking about like LeBron, and then KD gets brought up, yada, yada, yada. Shannon Sharpe ends up quoting a fake quotes of Kevin Durant. It was fake. It was like, people are always discrediting my rings. When I beat LeBron back-to-back, they say that he's the GOAT. I beat him back-to-back and hit those, like, tough jumpers at the end. What does that make me? And so, like, KD ended up quoting that video of him just, you know, Shannon Sharpe talking crap. And so he was like, yo, what did he say exactly? To what extent?
He said, like, someone get your
who's drunk uncle?
Yeah,
whose
drunk uncle or something.
Yeah,
And
because it was obviously fake. Kevin Durant was like, yo, like, why are you, like, talking about a fake quote? And then Shannon Sharpe, I think he didn't, like, really pay attention. He didn't respond to him. He was responding to other people about that. And then he ends up blocking Kevin Durant, which is, like, extremely weak, honestly. Like, if you're in the media and, like, you have this past to, like, just trash players all the time. Yeah. Like, you can't take responses. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was a weak move by Shannon Sharpe.
From Shannon Sharpe, one of the greatest trash talkers, like, to just block him and not even acknowledge him is funny to me, because he was literally acknowledging everybody else. He even acknowledged someone that replied to KD, but didn't answer KD himself.
And his logic behind it is like, I'm not about to lose my job. And so...
First off, your job should already be at risk for acknowledging a fake quote and not doing research.
Honestly, for real. I don't know. We just live in a very cancel culture world, so obviously I get his concern about losing his job. But what would you be losing your job? Maybe he realized, like, oh, I messed this up, so I don't want to entertain it any longer.
Yeah. He also probably saw, like, the Michael Rappaport reaction, like how that got blown out of proportion. So
yeah.
And the Paul Pierce thing.
Oh yeah, that's where it came from. That's the reason why he's saying I don't want to lose my job, because of what happened with Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, stop blocking NBA stars. You know.
Speaking of getting blocked by NBA associates or whoever, this was on my old account before I got suspended for, I don't even remember. I didn't even tag Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose said something stupid during a halftime show, and I've always hated Jalen Rose. So I just tweeted, Jalen Rose is an idiot. Nobody mentioned him or anything. Someone, like, a couple months later, quotes his tweet, and I'm like, I can't see it. So I click on his profile, and he blocked me. I was like, what the hell? I never mentioned the guy or anything, so he's looking up his name on Twitter.
And how sensitive do you have to be to block a random person for calling you an idiot? Like,
And he didn't even mention, tag you or anything.
It's such a mild insult. Just take it on the chin, Jalen.
Honestly, dude. If you're seeing
Christ.
this, grow up, dude.
Yeah, seriously, man. That's why you got dropped by Kobe, 81. Yeah. It's your biggest highlight of your career. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Speaking of Kobe, I mean, if you want to just mention it real quick, that today's the 5-year anniversary of his final game.
R.I.P. to the great one.
That was still one of the best games I've ever watched.
Yeah. You know, he, shot, 40-something times that game?
Yeah, and I don't blame him.
He shot, 41%, too, from the field, or something, not that significant. Nothing, to be impressed by. But, obviously, still got to give credit where credit's due, just because of the fact that, last game went out with a bang, 60-pointer.
Yeah.
And they were getting their ass kicked by the Jazz too, I think, the whole time.
Yeah, then they're back. Saw NBA posted the highlights today. I think they were down by 7 or 8 with a minute left. Kind of like the Nuggets situation, and I'm like, how the hell did the Lakers win the game? And it's just Kobe didn't miss a shot in the final minute.
Yeah, I remember Shaq talked about it, and he was like, "Go ahead and get. I bet you won't score 50."
Yeah.
Talking crap before the game, and then Kobe went ahead and went out and got 60.
That's actually funny.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't think we have anything else left to talk about. Obviously, sucks that Jamal Murray got hurt. Wishing him a speedy recovery. Maybe the Nuggets will still make some noise in the playoffs. They got to find that depth at the guard position. It would have been probably a good time to have plugged in, R.J. Hampton, but he got traded.
That's what makes this even more unfortunate. Sorry, I know we're trying to wrap it up, but you traded one of your young guys, and then Jamal Murray gets hurt. And now, I know last week we were talking about who's going home out of the top 5 teams in the West. And we couldn't decide. It was just going to be whoever was in the 4th seed versus the Lakers, but now I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. I do too. But we'll see. Anyways, we appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in. Make sure you follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at HoopMCs. You can find our podcast on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. So we appreciate y'all for always tuning in. Nassim, got anything else to say before we wrap it up?
No thanks, dude. We always appreciate y'all's support, though. So we'll catch y'all next time.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Trauma bonds, got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal games. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.